Rapport is resonance. Influence is dissonance. Think of it like music. You don't win an audience by smashing the cymbals before you've tuned the strings. When you meet someone, you're tuning your guitar to theirs. If you talk before listening, it's like strumming while they're still plugging in the amp. It's noise, not connection. Rapport is the hum when two instruments vibrate together. Influence begins when you introduce a new note that bends the melody towards something richer. Imagine you're trying to light a candle in the wind. The more you blow, the more it dies. Listening is cupping your hands around the flame. Science calls it active neural mirroring. Your brain literally fires in rhythm with theirs when you listen with real attention. That's resonance at a cellular level. Skip it and the flame goes out. Learn it and people open like sunflowers to light. Picture a dance. You yank instead of sway, and your partner steps back. Pacing means you start where they are. Yeah, this matters to you because you match their tempo, their tone, their values. Only when they feel seen do they let you lead toward the next move. You already do this unconsciously when you speak softer to a sad friend, or speed up to someone excited. That's pacing. Do it consciously and you become an emotional aikido master, redirecting momentum instead of colliding with it. Too much resonance and you vanish. Too much dissonance and they resist. Rapport without influence is like nodding forever in agreement while nothing changes. Influence without rapport is a sermon shouted through a closed window. The magic lives in the oscillation. Mirror, then lead. Flow, then shift. Fractionate. Think of a surfer. They match the wave first, then carve their own line across it. But I'm not intuitive. Bullshit. Your nervous system is an antenna built by evolution to detect micro-shifts in breath, tone and energy. You felt room go cold before a fight. You know a friend was upset before a word was said. That's intuition. The electromagnetic whisper of biology. The only reason you doubt it is because you were taught to worship logic like a jealous god. Use the antenna, tune it. When you trust those tiny signals, you become a human polygraph crossed with a jazz musician. Matching is saying, I see you. Pacing is saying, I get you. Leading is saying, let's go somewhere better. Start by entering their map of reality. Walk their terrain. Learn their landmarks. Speak their language. Then you plant new signposts just a little ahead. The mind follows what feels familiar. It resists what feels foreign. So make the new feel like the next logical step. Example, someone says, I can't focus. You pace. Yeah, it's hard when your mind is racing. Then you lead. And sometimes when the body finally slows down, focus just sort of finds you again, doesn't it? That tiny reframe changes state. Neuroscience calls it state-dependent learning. Shift the state and the brain rewrites the pattern. People don't argue about facts. They defend values. Find the value underneath their words. Freedom, safety, respect, growth. And speak in that currency. If someone clings to control, value that need first. I get that you want things handled right. Then lead it. And maybe that same precision can let you relax, knowing it's handled. That's pacing their value, then reframing it toward your direction. Values, they're emotional passwords. When you speak the right one, the door opens. Mirror neurons, oxytocin release, limbic synchronization. Rapport isn't woo, it's neurochemistry. When you match breath, tone, posture, your bodies literally sync heart rhythms. Influence works because mild dissonance jolts attention. Dopamine spikes. The brain searches for resolution. That's why a good story needs conflict before clarity. Too much harmony and the nervous system flatlines. A touch of tension keeps it alive. Stay deaf and life turns into static. You talk, no one listens. You push, they pull away. Stay only in harmony. You vanish, pleasing everyone but yourself. Stay only in dissonance. You break every bridge you step onto. But balance them. You become the conductor of conversations, the alchemist of human emotion. You turn noise into music, friction into motion. Why does fear creep in? Fear says, if I interrupt, they'll hate me. But interruption isn't dominance, it's leadership. It's saying, hey, the pattern you're in isn't serving you, try this instead. Every breakthrough starts as an interruption. The brain hates confusion, but uses it as the doorway to learning. That's why paradox and metaphor slip past resistance. They create just enough what for the unconscious to say, maybe. Rapport is resonance, influence is dissonance, together. They're the inhale and the exhale of connection. You learn to breathe with others, first match their rhythm, then change the tempo. Science calls it entrainment, spirit calls it empathy. Street sense calls it reading the room. Whatever the label, it's the same ancient dance. Vibration meeting vibration, creating evolution through sound. When you live this way, listening deeply, pacing honestly, leading cleanly, you stop forcing outcomes. You start orchestrating them. And maybe one day you realize you've always been both the instrument and the musician. The song was never separate from you. You just had to learn when to strike the chord and when to let it ring.